Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello and welcome, race fans, to Road Atlanta, where tonight, for the last time this winter, the BiS F1600 Championship reaches its dramatic conclusion. After months of wheel-to-wheel battles, late race heroics, and championship twists, it all comes down to this: one final night, one final fight, and at the end of it all, one driver will emerge as champion, securing not just glory, but the ultimate prize: a real-world F1600 test with Britain West Motorsport. The stakes have never been higher, and the pressure is relentless. Road Atlanta, fast, technical, unforgiving, will demand everything from these drivers: precision, nerve, art, and with a championship on the line, expect nothing less than a showdown for the ages. So strap in, because this is it, the final charge to the title. Who will rise, who will falter, and who will seize their moment in the spotlight? It's time to go racing at Road Atlanta. Let's crown our series champion. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has and always will be Daniel Zippy Salmon. And joining me in the booth today, we're going to have Reese Garden, the Southpaw Racer himself. And in the production booth, we have Christian Bryant Hill, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be there in the booth. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one, as we're having a little bit of a giggle here, at least the commentators are, at our director's expense. But Reese, tell us a little bit about this track we're going to be at today.
Honestly, Zippy, this has been one that I've been looking forward to. I know you've been looking forward to it as well. Welcome to Road Atlanta, a true driver's circuit and the stage for tonight's BiS F1600 Championship decider. This 2.54 mile roller coaster of a track is fast, flowing, and absolutely unforgiving. 11 corners, massive elevation changes, and that daunting run down to turn 10. This place demands precision, bravery, and a bit of madness to get it right. Tonight, the title is on the line, and with a real-world F1600 test up for grabs, expect the elbows to be out and the drama to be sky high. It's time to go racing at one of our favorite circuits in the United States. I absolutely love this circuit, Zippy. It's going to provide some great racing. We got plenty of slipstreaming opportunities. Got to use the curbs to be fast as well.
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to take a quick look at the schedule as well, and I mean a very quick look. Obviously, this is the final round tonight, so we're going to be here at Road Atlanta. Last round was at Bathurst with Phillip Island before that. Mosport, BIS's home track for round 5, with Detroit for round 4. Summit Point for round 3, Alton Park, certainly one of the UK tracks I did not manage to get to, sadly enough, for round 2, and we just started the season over at Brands Hatch for the Indy circuit as well. Quite the small, twisty circuit there. But let's take a quick look at the event info, Reese, if you'd like to do the honours.
Absolutely. Same as always for BiS F1600. We have 15 minutes of open qualifying. The drivers are nearly at the end of that. We have 3 10-lap races for this championship finale. Race 2 has an inverted top 5, and race 3 has an inverted top 10. Fixed setup and standing starts. You have a spare car available, but you got to be careful not to get over 12 incident points, otherwise you'll get a penalty, and if you get over 17, you are completely out of the race.
Well, certainly with this being a 15-minute race, I should hope that we don't see anybody with a penalty, let alone a disqualification. But let's take a quick look at the drivers' points. Obviously, this being the final round, there is a lot more at stake, with a maximum of 83 points still up for grabs. 5 drivers remain in mathematical contention for the championship, setting the stage for an electrifying showdown. Defending champion Michael Broomhead faces an uphill battle. He really does, because he is currently feeling like roadkill, ladies and gentlemen. I don't believe he's hugging the porcelain throne, but certainly has seen better days, we should put it like that. And he needs his rivals to leave empty-handed to keep defending his title, ladies and gentlemen. Mealing must pull off a perfect hat-trick of victories. That's going to be ambitious. Snag crucial bonus points, and hope for misfortune to befall his competitors to stay in the fight. Meanwhile, Sieber and Murphy sit within 1 win from McDonald, making every point in these final 3 races a potential game changer. With 25 points per win and critical bonuses on the line, the title race is wide open. It is McDonald's to lose. Expect drama, tension, and the opportunity of a lifetime to be presented to those in the hunt. Sit tight, this will be a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just going to be a good one, it's going to be an absolute belter. And a little note for you as well, the drivers in contention will have a gold marker next to their name rather than blue for everyone else. Reese, I believe you got the team points, sir.
Absolutely, Zippy. With 141 points up for grabs in the team's championship and only the best 2 results counting per race, teamwork will be crucial tonight. To take the crown, teams must push their drivers to the front in unison. While Britannia and Lima remain in contention, they face a daunting challenge. Reboot Racing holds a commanding lead of over 100 points. Overcoming that deficit will take nothing short of a perfect night. Honestly, I would be thinking that Reboot Racing is a shoe-in for the team's championship, but everyone's fortunes have varied at some point over this season. It's one of the few series I've done, Zippy, where we don't usually have a clear picture of who is actually going to win and who's really coming out on top.
Oh, certainly. I think there's definitely a little bit there to be settled, but I believe these guys are, getting ready to just finish up qualifying. Look at that. It's almost like we timed this perfectly, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to get ready for the grid. Reese, on to the honours today, sir.
Absolutely. Well, qualifying is run, done, and won by Matthew Murphy. He's starting on the front row for Reboot Racing. Asad Nikadembev is going to join him on the front row. Looking forward to some great results from him. Roger Sieber, also of Reboot Racing, starting alongside Zach Buchanan on the second row of the grid. Mark McDonald, the championship leader in the Drivers' Championship. He starts in 5th place alongside Reboot's Garrett Mealing. Reboot's doing very well to secure that team's title already. John Benvalid and Chad Ritchie starting in 7th and 8th. And then, rounding out the top 10, we have Josh Rothenberger and Tyler Scurali. Reboot has got basically 4 or 5 cars in the top 10. That's incredible. Alex McLean and Brady Clapham are going to start on the 6th row of the grid. Then we have Cedric O'Hyan and Richard Swindells, 13th and 14th. Our bearded friend Robert Covey starting in 15th place alongside Matthew Mileman for Lima Racing, and not taking part in qualifying, Michael Broomhead and Harland Goulbourne. Unsure if Broomhead is going to even take to the start. As we mentioned, he is feeling unwell tonight. So It does look like Goulbourne has taken to the grid. We are going to have 17 cars starting this final race 1 of the season. But of course, we have 2 more races to go thereafter.
Well, certainly, it's definitely going to be an absolute belt today, and certainly one of my favorite tracks. I almost wonder if I should have found a substitute for today, just so I could actually get there in the car. I did actually attend the practice session very briefly and turned 1 lap yesterday, and certainly it's a lot harder than it looks. Certainly, the 1600 was not gripping exactly how I expected it to, and I think that's merely a skill issue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even going to try and deny that for a second. Maybe we should have got 2 replacements. Actually, Reese, me and you could have even gone out and work the magic there in the cars, but certainly it's good to see these guys here in attendance. Good to see some names back on the grid as well. Zach Buchanan making a little bit of a moonlight appearance today as these guys are getting ready to go. It's a standing start, ladies and gentlemen, and go. A very slow start there from the 3rd place car well, actually not 3rd place, 4th place car. My apologies there, as they are away, and already you can see they're heading almost potentially 3 wide there into turn 1.
Yeah, that was Roger Sieber starting out at 3rd that had a slow start. He's had to give up quite a few positions there. Keep your eyes out as Matthew Murphy leads the way, but Nikardimbev is already riding those curbs quite aggressively to go for the lead. They're side by side coming into the S's. This is a very difficult part of the circuit to run side by side. It is defended from Matthew Murphy coming through turn 5, and then you run all the way out across the curb over the crest, and then there's the run onto turn 6 and 7 onto the back straight.
Well, Reese, you can already see that the pack is starting to separate, albeit very slightly. Asad Nikardimbev doing everything he can, but it does look like the front 3 are currently trying to pull away, which is going to be very bad news for Mark McDonald. Obviously, he needs to get as many points as he possibly can. A very proud father, I might add, a very proud, very grateful father as well. He's got Garrett Mealing behind him, so these guys are going to be going hard at it. But right now, Murphy is up there and ahead, with Nikardimbev absolutely going for a move, and it's going to be on the outside as they head into the final chicane.
Yeah, Mark McDonald also versus Garrett Mealing side by side in the background there. Nikardimbev takes the lead and defends it into 10A. And round the outside tries Zach Buchanan on Matthew Murphy. Gets 2nd place coming out of the final proper turn of this racetrack. Then it's flat out through the last corner to the start-finish line. It's very interesting, the battle for 2nd right now. Nikardimbev getting a great opportunity to streak away.
Well, you can already see there Buchanan going side by side yet again with Matthew Murphy. He's certainly, that was in a little bit spicy.
That's McDonald. That's the championship leader that's gone off at turn 1 there. He's fallen down to 7th spot. Now he'll have to keep an eye out for Sieber, McLean, and Clapham right behind him. Got Cedric O'Hyan in that pack as well. That's a mistake that Mark McDonald cannot afford.
Well, certainly it was definitely maybe a little bit of cold tires in there as the Reboot Racing machine. Certainly, I was impressed he actually managed to get it back on the track. I thought he'd absolutely completely gone. It looks like Sieber and did I see Sieber there having a little bit of a battle there for a second? But certainly we'll try and get a replay in just a second of what happened to the 216 car of Mark McDonald. And his teammate Nicholas Calander not currently present tonight, but you do see actually speaking of teammates right now, it really is the Rust Racing guys. Try again. Rust Racing is who Mark McDonald's driving for. It's the Reboot Racing guys who are currently slipstreaming together, as it looks like the 888 car of Chad Ritchie looking to make a pass on Mealing.
Yep, trying to get 4th place as we see what happened there to McDonald. It could have been worse. He ran a bit wide coming through turn 1 and lost the rear end, and fortunately was able to keep it out of the wall there. So it could have been way worse for Mr. McDonald, but he still has to try and fight his way back up, and he's making short work of it. He is right on the back of Ritchie, Benvalid, Mealing, and Murphy as well, as the fastest lap goes to Zach Buchanan in 2nd place.
That definitely does not surprise me. Although Buchanan is not usually in this series, he is a gentleman of incredible pace. But right now, this pack is getting incredibly close together, and that's definitely good news for the championship leader right now of Mark McDonald. He's going to want them to stay together, but you do see there has definitely been a 1.7 gap opened up between Asad Nikardimbev and Zach Buchanan, and both of those guys not really in the championship standing. So I don't think anything's going to be, I don't think anything's really at stake for him, for which case we're going to see some absolutely beautiful racing for the leaders. Yep, there you go. Buchanan is side by side with the 230 of Asad Nikardimbev.
Yeah, there was an attempt, but it didn't work out for him coming into turn 6. Maybe he'll be able to pick up the slipstream into the 10A, 10B chicane. He's definitely close enough to make it work. Well, this pack that we're looking at is catching up to the leaders quite dramatically. So we'll have to wait and see how many laps it takes for this to become a 7-way battle for the lead of this race. Keeping an eye on Mark McDonald. Zach Buchanan moves to the lead, slipstreaming all the way past Asad Nikardenbev there into 10A and 10B. Oh, try and make it through the middle there for Mark McDonald. John Benvalid and Chad Ritchie trading spots there, but McDonald is going to stay behind them as Nikardenbev here coming back at Zach Buchanan.
Certainly, I think these guys are going to keep duking it out, and certainly there is no real championship interest for him. Certainly Buchanan, he's already been successful in the BiS Radical Canada Cup. He did get to drive a real Radical SR3, albeit in a pretty damn wet day, I might add. But certainly, you know, they say rain is a great equalizer. Well, none of it present today here at Road Atlanta. You see Nikardenbev taking a nice bit of curbing there. Hopefully no slowdown for the younger gentleman here on the grid. I do wonder if he has his camera on today as well. Actually, got quite a few people when we did see him on camera, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman certainly on the younger scale of the age spectrum and doing absolutely incredible to have such pace. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's like 12, 13, maybe 14, and he is using that H pattern shifter as well. I'm not even going to try and contend that I can stand a candle to the talent of this young man, but certainly Asad Nikardenbev currently riding in second place behind previous Radical Canada Cup champion Zach Buchanan.
Yeah, I had a great battle with Assad at the King of the Mountain event. We're racing each other around Mount Panorama. He's certainly quite difficult to defend against and to pass as well. Well, we'll see if he can hold off Zach Buchanan for another lap longer. You know what? These two leaders, they're actually doing quite well at the moment to stay ahead of the chasing pack, though Murphy and Mealing are starting to make their way forward on them. Murphy was the fastest car on the last lap. As they come across the line, we'll see who is the quickest this time by. It is a 1 minute 30.6 from Nikardenbev, a 1:30.9 from Buchanan. It's John Benvalid who's the quickest of them all, a 1:30.205. Really making tracks, trying to leave Mark McDonald and Chad Ritchie in the dust there. Remember, McDonald's still in 6th spot, and he's trying his best to catch back up to these guys.
Well, certainly McDonald's got a lot to fight for. Currently, he's down 1 position. Roger Sieber, though, down 8 positions. He was one of those gentlemen in the championship fight. I do think it was Mealing was the last one. He's currently up to resting in 4th. Forgive me if I'm a little bit mistaken there. But actually, Harlan Goulburn, he's currently up 4 positions as well. Richard Swindell's surprisingly back in 14th place. I'm actually expecting a little bit more from my older friend there and fellow Pit Road Production staff.
Yeah, indeed. We'll wait and see if there's any battles to be had in the back half of the field. We're keeping our attention on the front half for now. The 4-car pack of McLean, Clapham, Sieber, and Ohian, they're battling well, but they're not quite going faster than these guys up ahead. So I gotta wonder if there's going to be any more to see from this battle just outside the top 10. And don't forget, the top 5 are going to be inverted for the start of race 2. So we keep an eye on the battle for 5th place as well. Currently, it's occupied by John Benvalid. At the moment, Nikardenbev would be starting 5th in race 2. Keeping an eye on the temperature as well. It's actually quite a warm track out there. 47 degrees Celsius or 117 Fahrenheit there as the fastest lap goes to Matthew Murphy in 3rd. He's really picking up some slipstream of Nikardenbev and Buchanan now.
Well, certainly he's definitely doing his part as we are taking a look at one of the Lima racing cars. It's the number 36 machine of Cedric Ohian. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is a real-life Radical driver, and I've got to say, the most beautiful Radical I've ever seen. Certainly a big fan over here, and he heard me saying that in the broadcast, and sent me over some high-res pictures that are going to be going on my desktop, potentially some more going on the wall at a later date, ladies and gentlemen. But we return to the lead battle between Zachary Buchanan and Asad Nikardenbev.
Yeah, these two are going to be trading places for a while, I think, as, that's a little bit of technical problems for Zach Buchanan. He was blinking a bit. That won't fill Nikardenbev with too much confidence. These two have been holding on to the lead very nicely. They've been trading spots. They've been almost working together here to try and keep the 3rd place on back battle at bay. They're executing it very well. They're not racing each other too hard. Which is good to see at the mid-phase of the race. We're at the end of lap 6 now. And I'm sure that the fight is going to increase in intensity very shortly, but for now, you just got to make sure that you're both in that position to fight for the win without threats from the outside.
Well, certainly, it all depends about what your objective is from the race. Certainly, these guys not in the championship standings, you know what? I would just be having an all-out slugging fest, you know, absolutely go for it. Don't get me wrong, these guys all want to win. As Mark McDonald, that's your championship leader, ladies and gentlemen. He just set the fastest lap, currently back in 5th place. He has managed to recover one more from Chad Ritchie at some point. I believe they were having a little bit of a battle earlier, but certainly, you know, he's still got a bit of work to do. He's only about a tenth, 2 tenths behind Garrett Mealing, who is, I believe, his next biggest competition. I'm definitely going to have to reference that in just a second. I do understand our league admin is certainly hanging out in the YouTube chat as well. Thank you, Mike, for answering the question there from Jose Miguel.
Indeed. Oh, looks like another position to be made up for McDonald. Gets a better run across the top of the hill there off Garrett Mealing, who ran wide at turn 5. But Mealing's going to take it right back. So he and McDonald are going to have to work together here. And have a look at how close Matthew Murphy is to our leaders now. This has been a great lap for him.
Oh, absolutely. And certainly this is going to be exactly what he needs to happen. That gap was, excuse me, and again, it was about a second before. Now it's come down to about 4 tenths. And he knows he's not in a position to pass yet, but he's certainly eyeing it up. As Buchanan is going to hold Nakadenbev there to the inside, not quite alongside, and as Assad realizes this, cuts it off, and Murphy looking to try and put a nose in there, got way better entrance there on that corner, carried the speed through the exit, and now Buchanan under attack while being the attacker as well.
Here we go. 4 laps to go. Gently does it. On your way down to turn 1. There goes Buchanan to the lead, and Nakadenbev almost making contact there. Matthew Murphy getting up the inside of him, coming into turn 3. They nearly bang wheels. Nakadenbev holds strong. Looks like turn 3 has actually been one of Nakadenbev's strongest points here.
Well, certainly, ladies and gentlemen, if you're counting at home, gently does it for a count of 1 right now, ladies and gentlemen, just to give my my co-host a little bit of a roast in there. I can't remember which race it was, but certainly it was almost like you had that thing on speed dial, ladies and gentlemen.
It was Radicals of VIR, I think.
Yeah. It comes from a place of affection, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly me and Reece spent a little bit of time in the booth together. My sympathies to him. As you can see, Nakadenbev, if he gets any closer to the back of Buchanan, he's going to have the nose cone in the exhaust pipe of that F1600 car. There's another blink there from Buchanan. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. He's currently not just racing in this dimension, but in another, as it looks like Matthew Murphy looking to make a move. Not just pass on, but pass 2, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to buy 1 get 1 free as they're heading down. Oh, dear. Free wide. This could end in catastrophe there. Buchanan decides, nope, I'm going to go for the outside. Assad's out on the inside, and they managed to get it surprisingly sorted out. Buchanan has to back right out of that as they come out of the exit, the final chicane.
What a great battle this is. 3 ways between 3 great drivers. They're giving each other just enough space to keep it going. It's not getting dirty. It's not getting desperate. They're having fun out there, and it's making a lot of fun for us as Nakadenbev has to go wide and allow both Murphy and Buchanan through, but the slipstream's so strong in these cars, he can easily recover that.
Well, certainly, you know, it's definitely going to be a case of the tactical passes. That's not good news. Murphy in the 53 machine has gone off. He will be getting a slowdown for that. It currently has him resting ahead, and to be honest, he's probably going to try and serve that slowdown. If it's me, I would do it on the straight, but if he can back these guys up, he may just get away with it. But certainly, when the draft is this effective, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. As that almost ended in chaos there. I think he was trying to serve the slowdown, tries to cover up the inside, and Nakadenbev was already heading there. There's only so much real estate on the track, and these guys certainly looking to use most of it, as that's a contact there on the corner exit. Is this going to be the end for Murphy?
Might be. He managed to clear the slowdown before they got to the turn-in point for turn 6, but that slight contact with Nakadenbev arrested his momentum, and so now he has to just watch and wait in his mirrors. Mealing, McDonald, Benvelid, and Ritchie are all catching up to him here, side by side for the lead again, side by side for 4th. Mark McDonald versus Garrett Mealing there, and McDonald tries to stick it up the inside of 10B. He's got the championship lead in hand. He can't afford a crash here in the final round of the season. He's got to try and make sure he gives up as little points as he can, but we are now on lap 10 out of 10. Here we go. Assad Nakatembev versus Zach Buchanan versus Matthew Murphy. Murphy's managed to catch right back up to our leaders.
Well, certainly this is exactly what he needs, and that slowdown could have been a little bit of an end-all for him there, but the draft in these cars being incredibly significant, certainly. And, you know, as the gap down now from P3 to P4 has also come down to just under a second only, just, ladies and gentlemen, but Mark McDonald applying a lot of pressure there to Garrett Mealing, and you see Murphy is absolutely working that rig very hard. And I'm starting to wonder, I believe he has full motion in there. Looking at the second rig he's got, full motion. Ladies and gentlemen, this man has the almost lovely gear. Certainly, I would love to try a motion rig, but it's one of the things I've very deliberately not done personally, because if I enjoy it, it means I'm going to want one.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Zach Buchanan, though, slipstream on Nakatembev. Murphy gets the slipstream as well. He's got more momentum than both of them there. 3 wide for the briefest of moments as he draws alongside Zach Buchanan. Try and get a bit of that side draft, if it even exists in these cars. And up the inside to 10A and 10B. Nakatembev will see the inside open up for him, but he can't take advantage. Buchanan fighting through 10A and 10B. Side by side on the exit across the curb there for Matthew Murphy. They're all together right at the end. There's contact. Nakatembev and Mealing come together, and Buchanan just takes it. Mark McDonald to the podium in just one corner.
We are definitely going to have to see a replay of that. That was incredibly spicy. It was almost like it was a formation in an air show, but thankfully not with the same result you would see at an air show, ladies and gentlemen. Not all of them came and survived that final section, but an absolutely fantastic win by Buchanan. Let's take a quick look at the replay. We've got Assad Nakatembev. He's kind of in the middle at this point, and McDonald gets an absolutely fantastic run out of that closing chicane. And you see there, a little bit ambitious, trying to go up on the middle, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of bump off the back of McDonald. Ricochets there into Nakatembev, the number 8 Lima racing machine of John Benvalid. Absolutely phenomenal dodge, cuts the curb, as does the treble 8 of Chad Ritchie behind, and certainly a little bit unfortunate there for Nakatembev. If we watch it just once more, I'm so sorry to our director there, but I just want to watch it once more.
Look at how close he got to the wall. That was amazing.
I do want to see that again, but from the Reboot Racing car a little bit further back there. So I think it's the 197 of Garrett Mealing. I would like to see it from his car in a cockpit view if we can. Here we go. So as they're coming down the final corner, a little bit of a blink there from Buchanan, and we just want to see a better view here. So I believe that I mean, don't get me wrong, I get going through the 3 wide. I just don't think that the space was maybe quite there. And yep, a little bit of contact. That's netcode. Yeah. Netcode off the back of the 216, and then, yep, there you go. Rebounds off. You're going to see Benvalid sneaky on the inside. Absolutely incredible dodge by Benvalid, and we're just going to stay with Assad because we want to see this. Dave gets a little bit of a nudge from the 197 there.
Turn back around the right way.
Yeah, the 197 to Mealing kind of gives him a little bit of nudge, but I've got to say, look at, threading the needle. Well, you got to say that was... Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't give it a complete save point because he did have a contact, but incredible job by the 230 machine. Like, I'm not going to deny that. Incredible job.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Everything went off there at the final corner. It was amazing, honestly, how they managed to get through that, and also how the packs managed to catch up to the podium battle in just the last couple of corners. That really was a great finish. But we'll have to turn our attention to the race 2 start here. The top 5, of course, have been inverted. It means Chad Ritchie's going to start on pole position. Benvalid, McDonald, Murphy, and Buchanan round out your top 5. From there on back, it is where they finished. So Nakatembev, Sieber, Clapham, McLean, O'Hyan, Rothenberger, Swindell, Scarali, Goulbourne, Mileman, and Covey are your 17 starters for race 2. So here we go then, just the last few seconds and we can get started for race 2. Let's see if Chad Ritchie will be able to take a win here in the final round of the season, or if Mark McDonald can sneak through and grab a win, more championship points for his margin. So let's go then. Green flag flies and we are away.
Well, you can see there Chad Ritchie with an absolutely fantastic start. John Benvalid as well. And this incredible formation of F1600 cars is here for the penultimate race. As already Buchanan and Asada Carter are already going at it toe-to-toe. Certainly no love lost there. And they've got to remember that the tires are indeed going to be very, very cold. And most of these guys trying to get in a single file as quickly as possible. And I see McLean actually having a little bit of a battle further back with one of the Lima racing machines.
Yeah, indeed. It's Brady Clapham that he's trying to get past with Josh Rothenberger behind him. But for now, keep an eye on Zach Buchanan, the number 40, losing one spot there off at the start. And we'll have to wait and see what Garrett Mealing will be able to do to try and grab another potential podium here, as it's almost 3 wide. And Buchanan tries to get past Bev on the way into turn 6. Assad is always willing to stick his nose in anytime he needs to, and he forces our championship leader wide on the exit. This is going to be a massive draft fest coming down to 10A.
Well, certainly it's going to be a case of a battle of the brave hearts at this point. As you can already see here, Buchanan is lining them up, and I believe they're going to go 4 wide. Maybe we can back out a little bit there on the camera angle with the 216 of Mark McDonald. He's currently in 5th. He needs to make sure he doesn't just get points here. He needs to survive, as it looks like one of the cars trying to stick it up on the inside. 3 wide around the chicane. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't see this ending very well at all. Buchanan's backed out. It looks like almost nose to tail there with one of the Lima racing cars as they're heading around for the conclusion of the final lap. And car 40 has been black flagged.
Oh, that's interesting there. I think that might have been a jump start potentially for Zach Buchanan.
No.
No?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm hearing as well. Jump start there by the number 40 car of Buchanan. Thankfully, he is not in the championship's point race, but we have seen a pattern emerge yet again, ladies and gentlemen, with the front 3 able to pull away. This time, Matthew Murphy, one of the championship contenders, is in there. Chad Ritchie as well. And John Benblid, one of the Lima racing drivers, is there. He's currently in P3 with about 1.5 seconds back to Bev, and indeed the rest of the field.
All right, well, we see a very similar situation to race 1 emerging now. The top 3 with quite a gap over the rest of the field, and these guys behind will have to sort themselves out pretty shortly because, goodness gracious, it's going to take some effort to catch up from here, but it can be done. There goes Mark McDonald up the inside of Brady Clapham at turn 7. Good exit from him, but Alex McLean's going to get the benefit of the slipstream off both of them. Have a look at how strong it is. It's been this strong all season. I got to experience it myself at Bathurst. And you really reach a rate of knots in this car. 3 wide down the straight. McLean's got the inside into 10A. He should have the advantage, but will he be able to get it from here? Clapham, a little bit later on the brakes than him, will hold the outside, and McLean is stalled there through to 10A, and actually losing a lot through 10B as well, all because he got squeezed.
Yeah, definitely. While the inside is generally the preferred way to go, that is incredibly close, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, you know, it absolutely compromises your exit speed, as Chad Ritchie has just gone and set the fastest lap. Mark McDonald is driving almost like his kid's life depends on it. He's certainly a man who is motivated today in a 216 machine.
Oh, no, there he is off.
He's gone off the commentator's curse. He's got to make a safe rejoin. Thankfully, able to get that done. And I say that again, that's definitely going to be a slowdown. But hopefully, he can stay there with the pack, shave that penalty, and potentially make a little bit of a recovery through the field.
Yeah, the issue was for McDonald, there wasn't really a clear spot for him to blend back in, as really wide up the top of the hill there goes Garrett Mealing.
Was it
No, it was Mealing. It was
right.
definitely Mealing.
Well, that is exactly what McDonald needed to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Some competition here as McDonald goes and takes that, but for how long? The slipstream will be absolutely huge, and it looks like Mealing's already trying to make a move on McDonald. McDonald is going to have to draft from Brady Clapham ahead, and certainly you're almost fighting not just for position, not just for real estate, but for who can give you the best toe. As you see, these guys are absolutely yo-yoing through the field.
Yeah, this is looking like a very topsy-turvy race too. Not to imply that every single race this season hasn't been topsy-turvy in some way. McDonald goes deep, but cannot take advantage. Can Garrett Mealing. Has to give it up to Josh Rothenberger. Another Reboot Racing car in this field tonight to help his team try and get the team's crown. Gently does it on your way into turn 1. That's 2 for you there, Zippy. Up the inside of Alex McLean goes Garrett Mealing, and McLean is off at the curb.
Well, certainly McLean definitely, he's usually in the radicals. I will say a pretty competent driver, having raced side by side with him in a couple of other races as well. Generally quite evenly matched. So that's why he's currently not on P1, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to need more than my skill level to have great success here. But saying that, we did see him, I believe he got a race win, did he not? With an invert grid, as well as a couple of these guys both going and taking to the grass. And that's going to open it up for Cedric O'Hyan, I believe, to try and get a slingshot. And yep, he's going for it. The number 36 Lima Racing machine puts it there on the inside. That's closed off.
Contact.
Absolutely closed off there as a 199 of Josh Rothenberger. That could have ended very badly indeed.
Oh, it certainly could have. Oh, nearly cleaning up another Lima Racing car, getting it recovered there. Yep. And it was all down to O'Hyan. I mean, he did have the inside line, certainly, but he was very tight on the entry into turn 7, and Rothenberger swept across the front of him, you could argue. But man, this is really troubling for a few of our Reboot Racing guys. They've lost one of their heavy hitters out of this battle up the top, but they still have Chad Ritchie in second place. They still have Matthew Murphy leading. It is a 1-2 for Reboot Racing at the moment. But have a look at Asad Nikardenbev, fastest legitimate lap there, with 1 minute 30.485. Sieber did run faster, but he got an off track somewhere along the way.
But certainly for the fastest lap, it needs to be a clean one, as right now it looks like Alex McLean and Cedric O'Hyan are going at it. I'm getting a little bit of a Twitter there between the two of them. But the car to watch right now, honestly, it's Mark McDonald, because he's currently looking to go at it with Brady Clapham.
Yeah, certainly is. Mark McDonald trying to get back into the top 6 here, and I think he and Clapham are going to have to work together here, because they have lost a lot of touch with the top 5. So take advantage of the slipstream, swap positions into the chicane, and then you can try and work your way forward over the next 5 laps.
Well, certainly you can see here McDonald is using everything he can, and Brady Clapham is not in that championship. That's incredibly close.
Yeah, look at that.
Damn.
Little bump draft.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd bump draft in this, but put it this way,
yeah.
he was grabbing that ass. For lack of better words, he was giving it a squeeze, and it looks like he's been able to get it done. Certainly, maybe Brady Clapham a little bit off put by that, understandably so, as 216 car is able to slingshot that into 6th place. But competition ahead of Sieber and Murphy, it's currently not looking good for him as the battle continues for the lead pack.
We're getting a little mid-race points update from Mike Broomhead. Mark McDonald still has 13 points over Matthew Murphy. Garrett Mealing is out of it. Sieber 32 points back. So at the moment, Mark McDonald is still in the championship lead. Just got to make sure that he gets to the finish.
Yeah, that is not including any bonus points as well. We do have the fastest lap. Certainly, I believe, is one of them that they're contending. Certainly, my colleague will correct me in a moment if I'm wrong. Certainly, League Admin, despite the fact he's not racing today, putting in a fantastic job behind the scenes. And I honestly think he should be hiding there in the booth so he gets it live, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, we'll see if he gets the hint, as John Bemberlid currently running in 3rd place. He's staying with this lead pack of Chad Ritchie and Matthew Murphy, and currently doing very proud there for Lima Racing. But my interest, honestly, is between Sieber and Nikardenbev, because certainly if these two come to blows, that is going to be exactly what McDonald needs to try and secure another bit of a point sleep here in the championship.
Yeah, indeed. And they're working together nicely, aren't they? You see McDonald and Clapham way off in the background behind them. And, well, we'll keep an eye on the lap times here. See that Sieber is not going for it on Nikardenbev there. It looks like they're doing the whole tandem drafting deal to try and catch up to these guys in front. It's going to be difficult, though. Benvalid, fastest car on track last lap, and he's right on the back of Chad Ritchie, looking to have a go at 2nd spot here. Across the line they come. We'll get updated lap times here. 1 minute 30.4 for all of our top 3, a 130.5 for Nikardenbev, and a 130.4 for Sieber. So at the moment, everyone's in lockstep up the front of the field.
Well, certainly, we've got a couple of battles going on throughout the field. It looks like Tyler Scarelli, Cedric O'Hyan, Alex McLean, Richard Swindells, and maybe even Robert Kobe are having a little bit of a fight there back in P9, ladies and gentlemen. As currently we're still watching John Beverly, and I do see that Asad Nikardenbev has actually managed to close down that gap now, so we may have a 5-way fight for the start. And certainly, I do wonder as well, is Murphy and Ritchie, are they going to try and back the pack up a little bit just to try and help their comrade Roger Sieber? Certainly some team tactics could indeed come into play. And I feel there for McDonald, despite the fact he's leading the championship right now. I do wonder, is he going to suffer where he's a little bit underrepresented on the team front at this occasion?
Yeah, I gotta wonder. Reboot Racing playing the team game well at the front of the field, but you're right. If they can get Sieber in there, it can certainly help to consolidate the points a bit more. Remember, though, only the top 2 cars from each team score points in a race. So right now, Reboot Racing have done everything that they need to. If Sieber's a bit closer, though, he can make life difficult for Ben Malid and Nakadenbev.
Oh, absolutely. I've just managed to find those points for us there, Reece. So I'll just read them out very quickly. So there's 1 point for pole position, 1 point for the fastest lap, and 1 point per race for leading a lap. So certainly there's some 3 points on the table there, and also 1 point for the hardest charger, which right now that's seen Robert Kobe and Tyler Scarelli. So certainly more in the team standings. Would that be a benefit? Certainly for Britannia iSports. But that fastest lap point, I mean, it could come down to it, ladies and gentlemen, and even the leading a lap. If Reboot Racing can actually get Sieber to the front of the grid. Don't get me wrong, they got Benvalid and the Nakadenbev in the way of that potential tactic, but this could be just what he needs to try and maybe fight back and take that real-world drive for Britain West Motorsport.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like Brady Clapham's race has come to an almost end there. Just saw him touring through the pits. He got a black flag, I believe, for exceeding the incident limit. Had a couple of spins and a couple of off-tracks on that last lap alone. So shame there for Brady, but we have to keep our attention here up at the front, because Sieber now alongside Benvalid. John has lost 2 positions in 1 lap there. Nakadenbev and Sieber absolutely steamrolling him.
Well, I've got to wonder as well. Benvalid, I will say, has incredibly good sportsmanship, and he'll know that some of these guys are finding out. Nakadenbev, he's certainly... it's not to say that he's got bad sportsmanship, but it's more like he goes to race to race. It's very much, if anything, we need to cool our young comrade down a little bit at times. But you can see there, Benvalid, he's having a good time, and he's going side by side with, I believe that is Roger Sieber as well. So I do wonder, maybe there's a little bit of tactics in play. Maybe he's deciding, you know what, the tactical pass. But, I do see Mark McDonald is currently absolutely running solo, currently back in 6th. He's 4 seconds behind these guys. So certainly, he's going to... He's going to be very conscious of where the 183 machine is right now.
Oh, yeah, certainly is. Roger Sieber at the moment looking at a potential podium here. And remember, it's only the team's championship where the top 2 cars from a team score points. Drivers' championship, not affected by that. So... have to keep an eye on Roger Sieber versus Mark McDonald. For now, though, Matthew Murphy is streaked away to a 1.5 second lead. He set the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap as the field battles behind him here.
Well, certainly, and I'm just looking at the points. So for a win, you get in 25. For second, you get in 22. And for third, you get in 20. Currently, where Sieber is right now, he's back in 5th. That's 16 points. McDonald's there in 6th. So it's only a 1 point difference. So it really could come down to the wire. Certainly, the guys in Reboot Racing, if they want to help their colleague Sieber needs to not only be able to get himself to the front, but hope that McDonald certainly, doesn't be able to capitalize, maybe get any positions, because we've certainly seen already, as we see Matthew Murphy absolutely slingshotted out in the front. It's really going to come down to P2 at this point as they start a final lap. But if these guys collide from 2nd down to 5th place, if these guys collide, it's good news there for McDonald, bad news for Sieber.
Certainly is, and it looks like Chad Ritchie's gone off at turn 1 behind these guys. He has fallen down to 5th. That puts Sieber up into 4th place. That's some extra points that he's going to get there, 18 points from this race. Who's going to win the battle for 2nd? Currently, Nakadenbev holding off John Benvalid, who, in spite of letting these guys go a couple of laps ago, has driven well and avoided drama and still in contention for a podium here. He'll have to keep an eye out for Sieber coming into the last few corners. Oh, Nakadenbev's off! Assad Nakadenbev, I think a little bit of an overcorrection there for him, and he's gone off into the grass. He falls down to 5th. That promotes Sieber to the podium.
Well, this could be exactly what Seba was looking for. Let's have a quick look at the replay. Certainly, he's been pretty clean all night. He's the only incident he got caught in was earlier, and that's a little bit of braking on the grass there. I think that may have unsettled the car. Yep, not quite the braking force he was looking for as he goes and attaches a lawnmower deck to the bottom of that F1600. But certainly good news there for Seba, and also a little bit of bad news there for McDonald because he really needed a little bit more time. But right now, Matthew Murphy, he's gone and taken that lead, taken that win even, ladies and gentlemen, as he's heading round the final turn. Fantastic race by him, breaks away by about 1.8 seconds. Seba is currently in third, my apologies, as John Beverly takes second.
Yes, Mark McDonald still finishing in sixth spot. Battle going on here between O'Hyan and McLean. O'Hyan making up good time in the last corner, but not quite enough to get the position. Covey versus Swindells right there across the line for 11th place. And then Buchanan and Rothenberger, two very quick drivers who had massive disadvantages in this race, finishing 13th and 14th. And it looks like Matthew Mailman is going to be the last car to cross the line. And he's got a very damaged car indeed. Actually, it's barely crawling at 150 k's an hour down the back straight. Unfortunate there for Matthew, but for this Matthew, Mr. Murphy, what a win.
Oh, an absolutely fantastic win there. And I do wonder as well, maybe Seba's going to be hoping for a little bit more help from his team as they're going to go into the final round. We're going to have a quick look at the points during the warm-up, ladies and gentlemen, but we should probably do the official results before we get too much into that. Just give them a second to pop up. But what an absolutely fantastic race. Myself, I think race one was even more enjoyable, certainly with that ending. And, you know, a little bit unfortunate, but it's going to be spicy as we head into the final round. But here's your results for round two here of the Road Atlanta series. Road Atlanta, sorry. You know what I'm trying to say, Reese. Road Atlanta. My apologies. Atlanta. As Matthew Murphy for Reboot Racing took first, with John Benvelid in second and Roger Siebert in third, closing out your podium. Chad Ritchie in fourth with Reboot Racing, and Asad Nakadabev, despite the little off, managed to hold on to fifth, with Mark McDonald just 0.3 of a second behind him in sixth. Certainly that every little point there is gonna count very much in this championship battle, with Garrett Miller in seventh, Bo Scarelli in eighth, and the fellow Britannia iSports car Alex Plain in ninth, with Cedric O'Hyan in 10th.
Yeah, in 11th place, Robert Covey, 19 seconds behind Richard Swindells, just behind him by a tenth. Buchanan and Rothenberger battle to the line. Then it's Mileman, Clapham, and Goulbourne who rounded out the field there. Goulbourne, unfortunately, not managing to get to the finish. A real shame for him. 3 laps down on the rest of the field. Well, it's going to be an interesting way for the points to shake out here in the warm-up session. But before we get those results to us, we should take a moment to thank the fantastic sponsor of one of the sponsors here at BIS, Falcon Autosport. If you like BIS, you'll love Falcon Autosport track days. Running out of Grand Bend Motorplex in Grand Bend, Ontario, these track days help get people just like you on the racetrack to make new friends, and can teach everything from good car control all the way up to helping you get into racing a car in real life. BIS racers get a discount of 10% off Falcon Autosport track days. Email Drew from Falcon Autosport, drew@falconautosport.com, or text 226-750-7916. That's 226-750-7916.
Well, certainly, I will definitely vouch for Drew. He is trying to make track days as affordable as he can. Certainly, the costs of running these kind of events has indeed gone up a little bit, for no doubt. I mean, anybody who goes to the track would have noticed this. And Drew's very much, he's trying to make it as affordable as possible so more people can get to the track. And, you know, he's got a couple of cars. He does have that Mitsubishi Mirage, which, you know, first impressions, you're like, really? But that thing absolutely handles like it's somewhere else. And he's also got a Civic EP3. I believe they call it an SIR over here. I called it a Type R in the UK. But certainly, you know, he's keen. He's definitely a talented driver. I believe he's an instructor as well. Certainly somebody who I would want to have in the car with me and help me improve. But we do, I believe, have the points. They're missing the bonus points, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, you know, we can give you a good idea about how this final race is going to go, at least from a championship point of view.
Yeah, indeed. Waiting on those specific standings to come through. But it turns out it is 3 points now from McDonald to Murphy. Don't forget, though, you get that bonus for leading laps, and Murphy led many laps of that second race there. So I get the feeling maybe it's fallen to Murphy. We're not quite sure. Sieber is 27 points back, so likely out of it. And we'll be waiting to see how things turn out in the final race of the night, the final race of the season.
Yep, absolutely. As you can see here, these guys are currently warming up. And certainly, you know, it's a shame that we don't have Broomhead out on the track because, you know, at this point, we would absolutely be roasting him something rotten. But I believe we got Richard Swindells hanging out in the chat. Actually, how long have we got left of this warm-up? Our director could just give me...
We've got about 1 minute and 15 seconds.
You know what? Let's go for it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try and get...
Hang on.
Oh.
Warm up is 10 minutes. Okay.
Right.
It's been 5 minutes for most of the season, hasn't it?
I believe so. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to steal very quickly. I can't drag him. Why can't I drag him? There we go. We're going to very quickly steal Richard Swindells, one of the older gentlemen here on the grid. Richard, certainly, tell us about some of the challenges you're finding here at Road Atlanta in the F1600.
Well, mostly, Zippy, I'm just sucking tonight, to be honest with you. I don't know how else to put it. A little dust up with Tyler in the first race and a mistake or two in the second race, so I'm looking forward to a good third one if and when we get that off.
Well, certainly, it's definitely been an interesting track. I did do, I'd say, a couple of laps myself, but you were absolutely roasting me for just doing a singular race. But certainly, I think a lot of it's going to come down to this final outcome. Now, if you had to pick a favorite, Richard here currently is going between Mealing, is it Mealing? Mealing, Sieber, and McDonald. You know, who's your money on as it stands right now?
Well, my money is on myself, of course, but I'm going to be a little realistic. I'm going to go on an outlier here. I'm going to go Matthew Murphy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Swindells predicting Matthew Murphy, and as I have a look at it right now, we're going to give you a quick points update. Yep, so Matt Murphy is who Reese is going for, from what I understand. He's currently 3 points back from Mark McDonald, and then Roger Sieber is 27 points back in third. So, yeah, Sieber's probably out of it at this point. Well, I'm going to go for Mark McDonald. You know, the family man, he's always... I said Mealing. My apologies. Reese isn't betting. There's two people in the same team that both start with an M and end in a Y or a G. I'm not going to... I'm a commentator, guys. You know, I run my mouth. That's...
It's your specialty, Zippy. It's your specialty.
Oh, it's definitely special. All right, so we'll try that again. We've got McDonald there in first right now. He's there with 364 points. Murphy's in second, 3 points back. And Sieber is currently 27 points back. So, you know, it's going to be tight. I'm actually going with McDonald. He just needs to have a clean race. But, Richard, it's been a pleasure having you in the booth. Try and keep it clean on the track. And if you don't, make sure it's an absolute standard of a unit, certainly on my behalf. And thank you for representing Pit Road Productions on your car as well.
Thanks a lot, Zippy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed Mr. Richard Swindells, one of the older gentlemen. One of my Twitch followers there giving me a hard time. That's not even my line, buddy. That's quoting Ron Mourns, who fantastic commentator over another broadcaster there. But we should probably get ready for a grid as well very shortly. Reese, any further thoughts while we're on the subject?
Oh, well, you know, looking at the points that Broomhead has just sent to us, yeah, correct. McDonald leads the championship by 3 points over Matthew Murphy, 364 versus 361. And you've got to take care if you have a bad result in this final round. You cannot drop the results from any of the races here tonight. So at the moment, it is Mark McDonald versus Matthew Murphy for the championship. I will correct something that I said earlier. It is in fact only 1 point for any amount of laps led in a race. So yeah, bonuses still being taken into account, I believe, but McDonald at the moment, by the slimmest of margins, leading the championship. He needs to finish ahead of Matthew Murphy to really secure it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here are the championship standings. We got some different points up on this one, so I'm not really sure what to go off here. I've got one piece of information, and the commentary has another. And to be honest, looking at that, I'm not entirely sure. So I think we're going to go with what we got on the spreadsheet for the minute, because that has a 10-point gap and a 30-point gap.
Yeah. Well,
but this counts race 1 and 2 though. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, all right. Well,
Reese,
look,
your call, Reese.
we'll get confirmation from Broomhead whether or not these are accurate, and we'll go on through into the final race of the season. This is a bit of an interesting one here. Hearing that maybe these points are without drops, but I'm not too sure.
Well, I do wonder. I'm checking another part of the spreadsheet as well to see if that is updated. And it's fair to say I'm just getting more confused with the more things I look at. So,
Yeah.
Yep, I'm out of it on that point.
All right. Well, look, I think we should just go off the spreadsheet for now. Mark McDonald 3 points ahead of Matthew Murphy coming into the final race of the season. That's what I'm sticking with.
Well, certainly my money's on McDonald. Just, he's a family man, certainly driving a race car as a family man. Well, as any man, any woman, actually even harder to get in a race car as a woman. Certainly we've found that, in the racing world. And that's why we have Radical Academy, ladies and gentlemen, that's here on Tuesday nights. But certainly, it's not something that's attainable for everybody. So that chance to get to drive a real F1600 car, absolutely. And not only that, to do that by winning a championship, I think that is a absolutely fantastic opportunity. And certainly, to everybody who's took part, I commend them, because, the level of competition has been incredibly high. And you know what? You have to be incredibly consistent. You can't just have outright pace. You've got to have racecraft. You've got to know when to go, when to stop, and it's been a really, really good championship battle so far.
Yeah, certainly has. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. It's been a really competitive season here in the BiS F1600 Championship, and we wait now for warm-up to end to get one more absolutely scintillating race in before the end of the season. All right. This is going to be an interesting grid here. It is a top 10 invert here. And it does mean that the pole position for this race is going to fall to Cedric O'Hyan. That does mean that Mark McDonald is going to be starting ahead of Matthew Murphy, so that is one extra little advantage that he'll have. So Cedric O'Hyan and Alex McLean are your front row for this final race of the season, and they're followed by Tyler Scaralli and Garrett Mealing. Mark McDonald will start in 5th place alongside Assad Nikardenbev, and then Chad Ritchie and Roger Sieber will start 7th and 8th. 9th being John Benwelid and Matthew Murphy rounding out the top 10. From there on back, it's where they finished in race 2. Covey and Swindells on the 6th row, with Buchanan and Rothenberger starting off row 7. They're going to be working their way through very quickly, I'd imagine. Marmon, Clapham and Goulbourne will round out our 17 cars to round out this field. I gotta say, this is a very interesting fight that we're about to have as the grid is over now and the revs are rising. We get ready to go for the final race of BiS F1600. And it's a very clean start from our front. You see Nikardenbev immediately switch to the inside there, try and get some slipstream off McDonald into the first corner here, and try and stick his nose up the inside, but has to go wide, does Mark McDonald. Scaralli a bit slower at the apex of turn 1 there, and off goes Alex McLean.
Well, certainly taking a little bit of a scenic route here at the race start, thankfully able to stay with the pack, and not only that, make a safe rejoin. But you can see Mark McDonald and Chad Ritchie are going hard at it. Nikardenbev is right there in front of them, and certainly I sympathise for the drivers here in this championship battle, as O'Hyan leads from Mealing and Scaralli in 3rd.
Oh boy, here we go then. O'Hyan's still leading the way, but man, this is very close indeed. Scaralli trying to go for it on Mealing around the outside at turn 6, but Nikardenbev sees the door open to the inside. Can he get through? No, he's going to avoid walking through the door for the moment, but at turn 7 he gets alongside. But this is a great advantage for Mark McDonald. Bit of contact, yes indeed, but they all keep going as they are. Sort of falling off the back at the moment are Goulbourne, Swindells and Mileman. The battle between Scaralli and Nikardenbev falling to the favor of Nakadenbev for now. He's going to have the racing line coming into 10A and 10B. McDonald looks like can't find a way through.
Yeah, definitely, and I would not want to try and push that free wide. It will compromise his exit speed so hard. As one of the Reboot Racing cars looking to make a move there, McDonald absolutely nowhere to go, and they're going to go free wide. We've seen how this ended last time with Nakadenbev. This time, actually, Nakadenbev was on the inside again last time, wasn't he? As Scarelli just drops back free wide there. One of the Reboot Racing cars. Oh, he's holding it. He's holding it. It's a full tank slapper experience from Roger Sieber, but he is absolutely fantastic save as one of the Lima Racing cars has gone off. That's John Benvelid back down into the sand. He's there with the rejoin. We've seen his teammate go by. A little bit bumpy as there we go. Nakadenbev and Scarelli are now going hard at it.
They are indeed, and through all of this, Mark McDonald's found his way to third. This is a really well executed first lap here from the championship leader. It's the narrowest of margins that he has to work with, but he's putting his car in all the right places right now.
Well, certainly you can see there some competition up ahead, albeit not the competition he's worried about. He's got Mealing ahead. Now, Mealing is no longer in the championship battle, despite having a absolutely gorgeous Simric. As Scarelli has gone off in the background. Britannia iSports not having the result they're looking for. This Alex McLean taking a little bit of an off. Scarelli taking an off, and Broomhead currently not in the race. It is not a bad session here. Well, it is a bad session here for Britannia iSports as McDonald is going side by side with the 197 of Garrett Mealing. Sardan and Carterbev looking to make a move up on the inside. They're going to be going free wide as they head down into the final chicane.
Oh, here we go. McDonald having to make way there for Nakadenbev, who dives up the inside of 10A and keeps it nice and stable through 10B. Nicely done indeed. But at the moment, McDonald is the one with the championship trophy in hand and the grand prize of a Formula 1600 test drive with Britain West Motorsports. Remember, that's what they're racing for here. At the moment, Matthew Murphy down in 7th place. McDonald setting the fastest lap in 3rd. He has the advantage at the moment.
Well, certainly he does, and he's got to make sure he does not get into any contact or have any slowdowns, because that could be a absolutely championship losing occurrence if that should happen. But you see, O'Hyan now under heavy pressure from the 230 of Assad Nakadenbev, doing everything he can. And McDonald, he just needs to try and stay clean, stay away from incidents. Certainly, you know, we want to see this championship end and a clean result there. And if he gets caught up with another one of these cars, it's going to be an absolute pandemonium there as Nakadenbev almost is the back of O'Hyan.
Yeah, and McDonald had to back out of it as well. Nearly got rear-ended there by Garrett Mealing. Now it's time for the slipstream again. Cedric O'Hyan only leading by 0.2 of a second here as they all get the slipstream off him. These guys all in a pack from 1st to 9th. This is amazing. 1st to 8th to be exact. Alex McLean trailing off the back there with Roger Sieber a bit further behind. McDonald moving to 2nd place. He's pushing Nakadenbev to the lead. Here we go up the inside. Oh, O'Hyan defending 2nd place.
Well,
look at the over-under, though.
Well, absolutely fantastic stuff from Mark McDonald, and he is racing like his life depends on it. And certainly as well, you got to wonder, has he been able to secure some teammates during the warm-up? I know if I was him, I would definitely be trying to secure a little bit of help of the mighty that is Reboot Racing. Certainly the Rust Racing guys a little bit underrepresented today, as Roger Sieber has taken away the fastest lap from McDonald, so that's an extra bonus point if he can keep hold of it. Certainly, you know, it's not like Formula One. It's not just the top 10 that can score that. Anybody on the grid can take away that that fastest lap point. And certainly as well, with the draft being so prevalent in these cars, it is anybody's for the taking right now.
Oh, absolutely is. Well, Nakadenbev and McDonald, wait for them to pop over the crest there. They've got an advantage now. O'Hyan's actually keeping everybody behind them as they're almost 3 wide for 3rd. Up the inside goes Zach Buchanan on Garrett Mealing. You can definitely tell what car Buchanan is. He's the bright yellow one.
Well, certainly we have been getting used to seeing Zach Buchanan here, and it looks like O'Hyan is doing a fantastic job there in 3rd place. Certainly having absolutely a fantastic race for Lima Racing here today. And again, has my favorite race car. I'm so sorry, guys. Shameless plug as McLean looking to make a move on the outside, and no room offered. If you want that, you are going to have to pass in the grass. And I believe that maybe Chad Ritchie just absolutely closing the door. Yeah, he's literally blocked in by Reboot Racing cars. It is almost like they're standing around him and saying, saying, where you gonna go? Oops.
Oh, off the circuit. Yeah, off track for at least one of them there. It looks like that's Chad Ritchie that's gone wide, and Murphy is going to take the position off him there. So that's one extra position there for championship second place. The other contender here in the final race. But McDonald is continuing to jet away at the front there. Sets the fastest lap with the slipstream from Nakatan-Bev. There's two cars off there. Murphy and McLean both in the grass.
Well, that is exactly what Murphy did not want to see happen. He's the biggest threat for the 216, and that has pushed him not just back, but he's down there in ninth place. McDonald's in second. All McDonald has to do is finish this race. He doesn't need the win, ladies and gentlemen. He just has to keep it clean. It's laps 5 of 10, 5 laps to go, 5 laps to survive, and certainly he's got to be worried about the teammate of 197, Garrett Mealing. You know, he's obviously going to be cheering for his own guy, and if Mark McDonald gets in an incident, it could all be over with just 5 laps to go.
Oh, certainly could. Oh man, this is really close. I mean, we're on board here with Ohio, but behind him is where it's all happening here with Garrett Mealing and Zach Buchanan right with him. Mealing catching the slipstream. McDonald up in front has gone for the lead on Nakatan-Bev. Now, how hard does Assad want to race him here? He's going to slot in behind. Interesting play there from Assad Nakatan-Bev, but behind them, they get on the brakes super late, and now Ohio still has to defend from Mealing and Buchanan, and that's just going to keep giving the advantage to the top two.
Well, it certainly is an absolutely awesome race, as described by Jose Miguel there in the chat. We also got Zach's brother in the chat, who doesn't have a name other than Dizzle, ladies and gentlemen. So by all means, Dizzle, if you're in there, by all means, give us your real name by all means. As Buchanan, the man himself, number 40 machine, sets the fastest lap as they're going almost 3 wide there as they go up over the hill. But Lima Racing really in for the fight there, and that's exactly what they needed there for the Garrett Mealing machine, as he's able to sneak on by with Buchanan now applying pressure as they go through the S's.
Okay, side by side into turn 5. Not always ideal for the car on the outside, but Buchanan's going to fling it in there anyway. Take some of the gravel, take some of the grass, use the access road to get back onto the racetrack and keep the position there from Cedric O'Hyan. What a fight. I'm loving every bit of this in the top 5.
Oh, it's been an absolutely fantastic battle, and it's certainly one of the most fun we've had here in the booth. And to be fair, you know, BiS always does deliver on the action. Certainly sometimes not necessarily how we intend it. You know, I'm thinking of race start at Sebring for the Radical Canada Cup, but Buchanan applying an incredible amount of pressure there. And certainly if I was McDonald, honestly, I would lift off and let him have it. You just need to survive, Mark. That's all you need to do. It is not worth getting into a fight right now. And if anything, you do definitely want to try and make a truce, because Nakatan-Bev is not in it for the points, ladies and gentlemen. He is in it, you know, just for the sheer out victory. And certainly, if anything is to happen, McDonald, you know, don't get me wrong, it would be amazing if he can finish not just this championship with a win, but being on top as well. But I mean, how far do you want to make the dream? As you can see there, the young lad.
I think he's
backing off.
Yeah, I've been noticing this from Nakatan-Bev in this race. He is not pressuring McDonald. He is not sticking his nose up the inside. I don't think he's going out of his way to help him necessarily, but maybe he's just keeping an eye out for a move, because the last thing you want to do in a final round is take out the championship leader.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly that pressure will be very aware, as that's a 44. So obviously, this guy has to be a Lewis Hamilton fan. If not, you have no right to row a 44. I'm sorry, I don't know what the number is in NASCAR, but look at this way, he's here in a road set. And so if he's a Hamilton fan, Assad, I've just got a little bit more appreciation for you. As you can see there, he's doing fantastic. And EH pattern shifts as well. I've got to find out if this kid is using a clutch, because I just feel completely inadequate next to the guy driving a 230 machine.
Yeah, this is really awesome to see Nakatan-Bev driving the car as it would be in the real world. Here he comes picking up the slipstream again, and this time he is going to go for the move. So, yeah, he's been staying behind when he knows he doesn't have a chance at it, but now he's going for it. And look, Mealing's going to try and follow him through there, but looks like McDonald is safe for now. Now he can get some slipstream off Assad and try and stay ahead.
Well, I do hear that apparently Dizzle is a Connor Janateus fan, and I gotta say, I can't fault him for that. And I believe actually Janateus has been working on making his rig more formula orientated as well. I did find something earlier that may be a benefit, but right now you can see McDonald under a lot of pressure here as our director is groaning in anticipation. Either that or he hates something that did not agree with him, but I think it's the racing action causing the discomfort there. As you can see, McDonald applying all the pressure to the back of Nakata and Bev. Mealing not really had too much of an answer, and certainly, you know what, while it is a team game, I do believe these drivers will be very respectful of that. Buchanan looking to try and catch that draft. He's about 0.8 of a second back from the third place of Garrett Mealing. He's in the slipstream, but then you've got a 1.6 second gap back to Cedric O'Hyan, who's currently in 5th.
And Zach Buchanan with the fastest lap of the race. Man, we are down to a 1 minute 30 flat just about. Zach could definitely put himself in this fight as it's now a three-way battle for the lead of the race. McDonald catching the slipstream off Nakadenbev, who's the one punching the hole in the air for everyone behind him. And McDonald's going to try and go for it here. He's going to have the outside for 10A and 10B, but he'll be past Nakadenbev by the time they get to the braking zone. And it looks like Garrett Mealing is really going to stick his nose in now.
Well, all McDonald's got to do is survive. Any contact will be pretty much a race-ending incident there, as he's going to be very aware of that. Certainly, I do wish we had...
Oh
my gosh. A sigh of relief in the commentary booth as McDonald has that contact, able to survive. And I don't know who's more tense right now, the people at home, the people in the booth, or indeed the people driving the cars. The heart rate of McDonald, he could probably power the car at this rate with the RPMs that thing's going to be running, as these guys are side by side. Certainly we've seen it before where you can have three wheels in a vertical line and you've got to worry about netcode, especially oh my god.
Oh, this
race gently does it.
Yeah, that's two for you. This is too close for comfort, man. Mark McDonald has had like 2 close calls in the last minute or so. His left rear hitting the right side pod of Garrett Mealing there, and they almost banged wheels through turn 3. The netcode gods were smiling on them there. Well, now it looks like McDonald's focusing on defense because Nakadenbev's out to a lead of nearly a second.
Yeah, he's definitely capitalizing on that, them guys battling back there, and certainly, you know, Buchanan's very much in it as well. He's going to be looking to get himself back onto the podium as McDonald is doing everything he can. I really do wish that McDonald had managed to make himself some friends in this last thing, and all he can do, he's a sitting duck right now. All he can do is try and basically not cover off the outside, not cover off the inside, but kind of park it in the middle, and that is exactly what he's doing. As you see, Buchanan... Oh! Gosh, that was a late move there. I mean, it was clean, but it was late. Jeez. And he does manage to get it done. The compromise there, how he got around that, I don't know. Incredible pass, but incredibly terrifying if you're in the 216 machine. Now, you got to wonder as well, you know, how hard does he want to fight as they go onto the final lap? Yep, the final lap here. Right now, he's got it in the bag, but you know what? I would just lift off on the straight. Let Mealing go. Don't even go for it.
Yeah, and I think that's what McDonald was doing with Buchanan there. He saw Zach go for it, was like, okay, like self-preservation is the goal here. I'm just going to let him have it. Don't want to fight that one too hard, especially considering how quickly he took 10A. He was definitely going to go into McDonald if they stayed side by side. Matthew Murphy, still not a factor in this. He's back down in 7th spot as Zach Buchanan. He's trying his best to desperately hold on here. They've still got slipstream off Passat Nakadenbev here. They are within a second of the car in front. Could be any of these 4 who take victory at the end of it. I've only got a few corners left to negotiate for the BiS F1600 season of 2024 and 2025. Side by side, Mark McDonald and Zach Buchanan. Mark has the championship trophy in hand. He can't raise it just yet. He has 2nd place though. Will Buchanan go for the move? It doesn't look like he will. Well, actually, no, he is going to go for the dive. McDonald's still got the podium. Got to be careful through 10A and 10B, side by side. Out of the corner they come. Here comes Garrett Mealing, could take 2nd place at the last corner. Asad Nakadenbev is going to win the race, but Mark McDonald will just finish 2nd place and take the championship.
Well, and Buchanan with a black flag as well. I wonder if he picked up a slowdown in that final chicane. We're going to have to get a replay of that race end, and I've got a feeling our director may have took a few screenshots of the commentators absolutely losing it there. What an incredible the chat. JC Miguel, damn, well, Jeffrey is going, damn, like, don't get wrong, we're all in that same boat. That has got to be the most tense ending to a championship here we've seen on Pit Road Productions, and I gotta say, what a ride. What a ride.
Mark McDonald will be celebrating, though. Won the first round of the season at Brands Hatch and has taken quite a few more race wins between then and now. And, well, he couldn't stand on the top step today, but he had enough points in hand, finished ahead of his rivals, and unofficially at least, he is the BiS F1600 champion for 2024-25. And, well, he's going to be the one, potentially, taking that F1600 test with Britain West Motorsports. What a drive from Mark.
Absolutely incredible drive, and certainly I do wonder, you know, we'll have to find out when we get to interview him. As I see, Nicard Bev and Buchanan have made it in, as has Mark McDonald. Certainly, you know what, as we review very quickly, I didn't see anything during the race which I considered incident reportable or anything like that, so I think we're feeling pretty confident here there's going to be no protest. Certainly I do find whenever there is more on the line, people are a little bit more we'll say sensitive to any racing incidents. We'll put it like that. We got Mike Piecco there sending me a message. What a finish. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Absolutely, Mike. But we are going to wait a second here. Let Broomhead just confirm the final points tally. In the meantime, I believe, let's bring in Assad and Bev. Reese, if you'd like to do the honors and speak to one of our younger drivers in the grid, certainly I want to find out if he was using a clutch. But Reese, I do understand you've been able to catch up with the driver of the 230 machine.
Yeah, I have. Hello, Assad, and well, congratulations on the win there in the final race. You were in contention the whole night long. Not afraid to get your elbows out in races 1 and 2, but noticed you were taking things a bit easier with Mark there in race 3.
Yep. It was mostly about just I knew it was the final race. I have to like it's more important to bring it home in the final race, of course, compared to the other two. So just I was just working. It was at the same time risk versus reward, trying to keep it with him, working with him, and at the same time not spinning out, not going off track too many times, and just trying to keep it in a flow, same flow.
Yeah, absolutely. You kept the flow going very nicely there. Well, I mean, you came in to BiS F1600 as an unknown to me at least, and you've definitely put yourself up there in the top echelon of drivers in this championship. You're not afraid to get the nose in there and make those moves. And for future seasons of BiS F1600, is there a fair chance that we'll see you again?
Definitely, I will be coming back every chance that I get.
Excellent stuff. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Assad. Congratulations on the victory. And, well, if there's anyone you want to thank before we let you go, now is the time.
I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my whole family. I would like to thank my sponsors, Proformance and 45 Motorsports. And I would like to thank just, yeah, my entire family.
Oh, thank you very much, Assad Bev, for joining us. That was a brilliant drive from the young man there, Zippy. And, well, we will wait to see who you've got for the next chat in the comms box.
Oh, I'm actually going to grab Zachary Buchanan for a second here. We do believe he got absolutely obliterated by that black flag at the end. Can you tell us very quickly what happened there?
Yeah, I was sitting at 11 incidents out of 12, and
Oh,
in the last chicane, like me and Mark made like the slightest bit of content, and iRacing decided that was going to be a 4X. So.
damn, certainly a lot on the line there. Mark McDonald at the minute appears to have won the championship. That's why we're kind of holding him back at the minute. We just want to get a final confirmation there as soon as we can. But I got to say, Zach, you did have your brother Jeremy cheering you on in the chat. Dizzle, the man himself, was there. Absolutely loving what you're doing. And I got to say, it's great to see you here in the F1600s as well. Certainly you are a regular part of the furniture over at BiS, more so in the Radicals. And it's been great having you on board as well. I believe you took part in the BiS Indy Championship as well, if I'm not mistaken. So certainly a man of many talents. But Zach, while we got you in here, any quick highlights for you from the season as a whole? Any thoughts on the championship?
Well, I've only been able to do a couple races this year due to work and stuff like that. So I've only been able to make the last couple rounds. But what I did race was a good time, especially tonight. In the first race, I had some really good racing with Assad and who was it again? I think it was Matthew. And we had some really great racing there. And then in the third race as well, really close racing from all the guys up front. It was hard but fair stuff. A lot of fun.
Well, certainly as well. It's great to see you back here in this time in the F1600. So, and definitely it was spicy out there. Certainly, you're gonna have to watch the broadcast back as well. I mean, we're thinking about maybe mandating heart rate monitors on not just the drivers but the commentary staff as well, purely for insurance purposes. Perhaps at this point, I think all three of us here in the booth were going to pop a gasket. It was certainly heading that way. High compression was definitely on the cards. But Zach, while we got you in here, anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thanks to Assad, Mark, Matthew, and Josh for the little pointless but fun race we had in race 2 there. Good racing from all you guys tonight, and thanks as always to Mike for hosting, and you guys for the broadcast, and for Jeremy for tuning in and watching and cheering me on. So thanks, guys.
I'm also going to thank Jeremy and indeed yourself for Jeremy tuning into the broadcast there, as I believe our league admin has got up some final points. So, Zach, we're going to let you go. Again, it's great to see you here, not just here at BiS and on Pit Road Productions. Actually, you get probably you could maybe add that up to see just how much screen time you've got. You may be in the top 5 without a doubt of my mind, but understandably so. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man who has indeed benefited from BiS, and Jeremy was very quick to say that it's talent that got you that drive of the Radical SR3, and I 100% agree with him. Certainly, I called you a lucky guy, for which, yeah, I'd say you are, but the talent is what got you there, and certainly BiS and indeed Pit Road Productions, glad to be part of that for your journey. But Zach, we're going to let you go. Again, great to see you here in the booth, and looking forward to seeing some more of your driving talents in future BiS seasons.
Thanks, guys. Hope to see you next week, and hope to see you next season, whenever that is.
Oh, we'll make it happen, sir. You're coming back.
Have a good one.
You too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe, let's have a very quick look here. So Roger Sieber, we have got there in third. We're going to see if we can steal him. Reese, I understand you've been able to catch up with Roger, the third place championship finisher.
Yeah, indeed, Roger. Man, what a night for you. Certainly varied in its luck there. You were definitely fighting up the front, but the results didn't quite reflect your pace tonight.
No, I think this one is going to be one to forget. That was not good right from the start. Didn't have one of my settings, my wheel set up, and missed the start. So that was no good. And then it just kept going downhill from there. And then the last race, picking up 3 cones and transporting those around for a lap and a half. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was not a reflection of the championship so far. Definitely not the best.
Well, regardless, you still had enough points in hand to claim third in the championship, and I think all season you've been in contention. So the F1600 has really smiled on you and on Reboot Racing as well, who I believe our league admin has confirmed has taken the team's championship for this season.
Excellent. There's one win for today. I'll take that. It's definitely awesome racing by Reboot Racing and all the other teams, of course, but at least we got to snag that title.
Yeah, indeed you did. And well, can we expect you and Reboot Racing to make a return next season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're more for the winter seasons, but the way it was talked about there on the touring car, or potentially a different formula car for the summer season, I think we'd be interested in that for sure. That was a good time.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Roger, and congratulations on your drives this season. Third in the championship. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thanks to you guys. Congratulations to Mark. Well deserved. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Roger Sieber joining us there from car 183. Was third in the championship, and now we go to second in the championship, Matt Murphy. It was very close between yourself and Mark going into the final race, Matt. Couldn't quite find your way into the top 5, though. What happened?
I mean, all night, we kind of knew if the plan worked out, and we were up front for the first 3 races, obviously with that inversion. We were going to end up with a race, and we tried. We had a plan. Unfortunately, Alex was back there with me. Alex and Zach, 2 good guys, and they wanted to race more than I did. I was really hoping, to go around and just bring them with me to the front to kind of mix everything up, but it didn't work out. Picked up some damage, and that's where I sat. So I'm not sure where we finished that last race. 7th, 8th, somewhere back there, but it is what it is. It was a great season. Mark had a hell of a season too, and it was tight with him, myself, and Roger for sure. Pretty well the whole way through, and just glad that even going into the last race, we still had a shot at it, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I talked about this with Roger as well. Reboot Racing has taken the team's championship as well, so might have missed out on the driver's title, but you guys were definitely the best prepared and best presented team of the season.
Well, appreciate that. We have a lot of fun with it too. It's nice having the car count. The 6-car team or up to 6-car team, I guess, and everybody's able to race as an individual because, as far as the team championship goes, if everybody's just trying to do their best, as long as 2 cars are up there, then it doesn't matter so much. So it really does and did promote, racing within the team, right? We were there for fun. Obviously, we changed that strategy a little bit, just doing the math on who had a shot at the drivers' championship and helped each other out a little bit more in this round, and I appreciate that. But yeah, great group of guys. Couldn't ask for a better bunch of friends. So
excellent stuff. Well, congratulations, Matthew, regardless, for your drives this season. A well-deserved P2 in the championship. Hope to see you again next season.
Looking forward to it. Love it.
All right. Matthew
Thanks,
Murphy there in car number 53. And, well, Zippy, it looks like we have ourselves a champion to congratulate.
Well, Mark, what can I say? Certainly the heart rate monitor must have been going absolutely crazy in the 216 car. Certainly it was in the commentary booth. And let's just go, first off, the meme you just sent me of Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory breathing into a paper bag. I'd say it's pretty accurate, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you feel right now, sir?
Zippy, I blew up that heart rate monitor a long time ago, man. A long time ago. No, I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled. First off, I want to say a huge thank you and congratulations to Matt Murphy and the rest of the Reboot team. I mean, Reboot absolutely crushed it this season. Super fast, super consistent. I don't know what happened with Matt in the last race to that he finished further back, but he ran an absolutely banger of a season, and huge congratulations to them, and all the effort that they put in. Really appreciate the tough and especially the really fair competition. Like Garrett was Garrett was banging my wheels right across the line on that at the exit there. On the last one. But huge thank you to those guys. Huge thank you to to Mike and to everyone at BiS and everyone at Pit Road Productions putting on this entire series. Incredible series, incredible competition. There's a lot of series out there where you get to the last race and there's a third of the field left, and it's just one guy's run away with it. And here you've got 4 guys, 5 guys that are in for the championship, and especially a track like this with all the drafting and stuff, you have no idea kind of how it's going to go. So huge huge thank you to everyone putting on the great show, and what an amazing season. Really proud to be a part of such a great thing. And I also want to say big congrats to Assad on that last win. He drove like the perfect race, really smart, really working together and stuff. That was a really smart win. So great work there.
Well, I've got to say, we definitely recognize the talent in the young driver of the 230 machine. But honestly, Mark, right now,
that kid is crazy, unbelievable.
I know, right? He really is. Like, I put my hands up and say, I can't compete. Not at that level, not even close at that level. But right now,
I wasn't that good when I was that age. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. But honestly, right now, though, this moment, we are absolutely going to celebrate you. Now, we were planning on getting Mike Broomhead to sing the Canadian national anthem. And then we cancelled that plan, not just because I don't believe he can sing, but because he's currently man down. He's a little bit sick. Yeah, he's too sick to do it. And then not only that, we would lose any subscriber or any interest in future shows or events. But Mark, I've got to say, it's been a tough drive all season. Certainly, one of the things I was discussing in the commentary booth earlier, I mean, you were kind of a little bit solo tonight. I mean, no Nicholas Calander tonight. And, I did really wonder if that was going to, really hurt your chances. You needed a bit of backup there. So I do wonder, did you manage to make any friendships or any allies during the warm-up or like before the race to try and help you secure championship victory in tonight's event?
I mean, I certainly, DM'd half the field to say, "Hey, happy to work together, happy to run together." But no, I mean, we always join this. Nick and I join this as like, hey, let's try this out. Let's have fun. Let's have a good race, have a good season, and life got in the way for Nick joining tonight. But for as much as I was cursing every Only Dad's car that was racing with me throughout this week, a couple of weeks ago, all the Rust guys came out to support me over at the mountain. So to each their own. Like that's pretty fair. And in fairness, the like everyone raced super fair. Everyone raced super clean. There weren't like huge. At this track, you can have like 12 guys in the kitty litter at the chicane. So like everyone raced really fair and clean with each other, which is what you want. Hopefully it was a really good show, and a really exciting season that we can build on for next year.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly, I did wonder if you was feeling a little bit vulnerable. Actually, Alex McLean was at one point surrounded by the Reboot Racing cars. It was almost like he was basically told, "You shall not move." And I gotta say, Mark, it's been absolutely incredible, to watch your progress through this season as well. Certainly, it's been a little bit of highs and lows, but certainly consistency generally pretty good. But you know what that means being the championship winner? You get to drive a real F1600 courtesy of Britain West Motorsport. So tell us a little bit now. I understand, obviously, you're a little bit, after race jitters, but now let that sink in for a second. Just give it a minute. You're hearing this. You've won the championship. You're going to get the real drive. Tell me exactly how that feels.
I'm super excited. There's a bunch of logistics that go. I got 3 kids and a full-time job, and my wife's got a full-time job. So of course, there's a bunch of logistics to figuring out when we get that scheduled and everything. And I'm not a young kid anymore. My first question is always on crash damage liability, of course. But no, I'm super excited. That's one of the reasons that I joined the series, and it's incredible the real world opportunities that Broomhead is bringing to the sim racers, and realistically, like without something like this, there's no chance that I would step into a Formula car ever again. I've been in when I was younger. I did Skippy school and stuff when I was younger, but the closest that I get to a fast car these days is a Toyota Sienna minivan. So it's going to be a little bit different strapping into a real car.
I feel so guilty now. I was literally, as soon as you started saying like the fastest car, I'm thinking, he's going to say minivan. But at least you got the Toyota. I've got to say that. At least it's a quality product.
The Sienna handles, man. It turns in. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you see a Toyota Sienna being driven at a particular speed, BiS and Pit Road Productions have no responsibility for such matters. But we do encourage such behavior in the right circumstances. And certainly with Mark McDonald behind the wheel, I would have very little doubt it would be, for lack of better words, hauling ass, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly that's what he's done here in the BiS F1600 Championship. But Mark, I got to say a huge congratulations to you. And certainly while I was doing the racing, we did say, that you would be motivated very much by your family as well. So tell us a little bit about that. You always tell us how, supportive your wife's been. Just as we close out, what now is going to be the time, certainly for some future thank yous, knowing that you're going to need to go and take this test session up. I would get in them future thank yous now would be the time I would suggest that.
Yes, well, you're a wise man, Zippy. Yeah, I mean, huge thank you to my wife Laura for not 100% supporting, but putting up with sim racing. I think that we a lot of us have spouses that are in similar kinds of spaces. It's a hobby that takes a little bit more than you'd expect from some hobbies. And a huge thank you to my kids, especially tonight. Tonight we had a kind of a special scenario where Laura had a meeting with some houses on the block for a block party planning, and so then the kids had to kind of occupy themselves for about a half hour getting ready for bed by themselves. So huge thank you to Graham and Emmy for getting ready for bed on their own. And I've got the monitor right next to me, and our youngest Miles has not woken up the whole time, which is also nice too. That's not always a guarantee. So I really appreciate all of the help and support that I get from them. And huge thank you again to you guys putting on the entire series and the fantastic production, to Broomhead putting on such a great league, and all the BIS guys, everyone in the league, so great to run so tight and so close with everyone. And a huge thank you finally to Rust Racing and Nick for even introducing me to Broomhead, and the rest of the team for coming out and supporting me. They're cheering on in a Discord channel themselves, celebrating. And I think trying to get themselves into a seat too. There's a bunch of champagne popping gifts over in that Discord. So I really appreciate it, guys. It's been great. I can't wait to see you guys again.
Oh, absolutely. And it'd be great to have you back. Certainly, your wife was planning a block party. I think you're going to have to go and plan another one, ladies and gentlemen. This is definitely something to be celebrated, as we have the first real world experience here for BiS F1600 Championship is going to be going to Mark McDonald. But Mark, we're going to have to let you go. We're going to see you back here, I'm sure, when we run the F1600s again next winter. But I do believe BiS has got more championships coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have more information on that. Certainly keep an eye on this channel. We're going to be coming back very soon. But again, a huge congratulations to you, Mark. I'm going to do my best to try and head out in that direction. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the 1600s and the Radicals as well, but certainly I would strongly suggest you enter the BiS Radical Canada Cup. Obviously, having success in this one, why not go for a twofer? But again, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, show your sheer respect, admiration, and in some ways a little bit of jamminess there for the driver of the Rust Racing machine, Mark McDonald, our season champion.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Well, I gotta say, what a absolute belter of an event that was, Reese. I'm just completely blown away. Like, what a way to end it as well. Absolutely phenomenal racing. Certainly some of the peak here on Pit Road Productions. How we held it together in the commentary booth is beyond me. Certainly, I was losing it at times. You were definitely losing it. The director, he was way under the floor at one point. Just the groans, the excitement, the tension. Like, what about her?
Yeah. I don't think you could have asked for a better final round of the season, honestly. That was the perfect conclusion to what has been one of the most entertaining seasons of sim racing I've ever been in the booth for. Yeah, I may have missed out on one round, but that's because I was amongst it with the drivers, so I got first-hand experience of the quality of the racing that we got in this league this season. And Mark McDonald, really a deserving champion. I wouldn't have picked him at the start of the season, but he very quickly showed that he had what it took.
Actually, that's the point you've just reminded me. Ladies and gentlemen, I was right. I just want to get that out there. It doesn't happen very often, but certainly, I think he's done it purely by consistency. He's got multiple podiums, not necessarily always got the outright win, but certainly he's been Mr. Consistency, I'd say, for the most part. I do believe he did miss one event as well, but able to get the job done. So again, a huge congratulations to him. Not only that, to our second and third place, Seba Murphy as well. Fantastic job. Certainly nothing to shake a stick at. And generally as well to the whole grid. Ladies and gentlemen, this couldn't happen without you. So a huge thank you to all of you guys for taking part. A huge thank you as well to our almost fallen comrade, Mr. Mike Broomhead, who's definitely not feeling too well. I believe it's what's called man flu, and any gentleman here knows that is pretty much, you are bedridden. Certainly he's been fighting that since last week, and, the fever has broke. And I believe at this point, so is he. But, we're wishing him a very warm and speedy recovery. But, ladies and gentlemen, we really should start to wrap this show up. Don't get wrong. This is going to be one of those events that I'm not going to be able to go straight to sleep on. Like, it was just that much of a bust. How are you supposed to sleep after that again? And not only that as well, Dave, I just see popping in the chat. Certainly a good reminder as well. Thank you all you guys for, joining us for this beautiful race, this championship as well. And for joining us, being part of the show. I mean, the chat, you are very much part of the show as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're racing, by all means, share the links to the broadcast. We'd love that. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends to hit the subscribe button. Generally, the more traffic we can get through, the more we can give back to the channel as well. Like, if we hit 10,000 subscribers, all of a sudden, people want to market on that, and we can use that and then give it back to you, ladies and gentlemen. That's certainly what we'd like to do here at Pit Road Productions. But, I think that's pretty much all from me. Reese, any other closing thoughts?
Bring on more BiS racing. We've got the finale of the Radical Canada Cup next week, and we've also got Radical Academy on as well on Tuesday nights. Looking forward to more of that. And whatever's next for BiS, be it potentially touring cars or maybe something else. We don't know if we can reveal too much yet, but there's some good stuff in the works for 2025. So it'll all be right here on Pit Road Productions. Stay tuned.
Oh, absolutely. I could not have said it any better myself. And we got to wonder as well, certainly I'm going to be here, Reese's going to be here, Christian's going to be here as well. But who are we going to see driving in some of these new series as well? Obviously, we're going to have the regular guys. But you know what? If you're thinking about getting involved in the league, absolutely, we can strongly recommend BiS. I mean, look at the action. Did you see that? Watch it back. By all means, many times if you feel the urge, I will not hold it against you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for me, certainly for the BiS F1600 Championship for this season at least. We're going to be back on Wednesday with the Radicals, as my excellent co-worker Reese Gardner was saying. But ladies and gentlemen, my name has, and I guess always will be, Daniel Zippy Salmon, certainly Zippy on the mic. Reese, Southport Racer Gardner, joining me in the commentary booth yet again. We didn't let him on track for this one. You can thank us later there. Certainly Mark McDonald might be grateful. But and then Christian Hill there at the commentary booth doing an absolutely fantastic job today, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all from us today. Thank you very much for watching, and we're going to see you very soon on Pit Road Productions.